Well, hopefully I won't get too emotional up here, because as I am up here, it's not long where we are moving to Florida, and Chicago's been my home for 65 years, and it's hard to leave because Chicago is my home, and we will be back from time to time, but it's a difficult time that Chicago is kind of on the back burner and going to Florida. But this certainly has been a great evening for me, and hopefully all of my friends and family, and hope everybody has had as great a time as I have this evening. It's really such a great honor to be inducted to the Illinois Golf Hall of Fame, surrounded by my family and very close friends. I certainly want to congratulate Sherm Finger and Paul Voykin and Robert Gardner. Obviously, I did not know Robert Gardner, but I've known Sherm and Paul for a long time. And there have been a lot of times where we've done a lot of different things where we've got, I'm sure, some memories. They have memories, and I do too, with them. So it's a great honor to be being inducted as along with them. There are so many people that I need to thank for this prestigious honor. First, I want to thank where it all started. I want to thank my mom and dad for providing me and my brothers such a wonderful life. We were at Hillcrest Country Club, and that's kind of where things got started. They were really always extremely supportive of us, our dreams and our goals. They would follow my brother Ken and myself to all the junior golf tournaments that the Chicago District Golf Association would run throughout Chicago. And both my brother and myself, we were fortunate enough to move on to Michigan State. My parents would move on there, and they would follow us in the different golf tournaments throughout the Big Ten. And then as a professional golfer, my parents by this time had moved down to Florida, and I happened to qualify for the Bay Hill Classic and played there, and lo and behold, there they were in the first tee again. So they were always there. And I wish that they were here to be able to celebrate this great honor, but I do know that they are looking down upon us this evening and are extremely proud. And then my wife, Karen, thank you for always being there. Thank you for helping me at work and making me look good at work. And I think most people here that know the two of us know that you certainly probably were the glue that made everything work at Hillcrest and made things run there. Thank you for supporting me in my desire to play in all the golf tournaments. We had long, hard summer hours, and thank you for working while I went out and played golf. I appreciate that. My son Josh, they talked something about me having that hole-in-one at Kemper Lakes. Well, Josh caddied for me in all kinds of tournaments throughout the years, and he was on my bag at Kemper Lakes when I made that hole-in-one at number 17 on the last round to win the section championship. And I think that having Josh on my bag was maybe more important than the hole-in-one. He caddied for me in the Western Open. He caddied for me in the U.S. Senior Open. And that was always wonderful having him there with me. Josh is one of the few, I think there's only a couple. His dad now is in the Illinois Golf Hall of Fame, and his grandfather, Ziggy Troy, is also in the Illinois Golf Hall of Fame. And there aren't too many people that can say that. Unfortunately, Josh had business commitments in Florida and was not able to be with us this evening, but I know that he's excited to see the DVD from this evening. And then to my two wonderful girls, Christy and Courtney. Thank you for listening to all of my golf stories. Even, you know, I know you weren't really interested, but thanks for listening anyway. You know, I really appreciate everything that you have done there for me. You worked at Hillcrest. You spent the time there, and you worked really hard so that occasionally I would go out and I'd be able to play golf with the members. You took care of the shop, and I left you and went and played golf. Thank you. One other thing is that I would always kind of preach to you two guys about how great the game of golf was and about the integrity about the game of golf, because that to me is what it's kind of all about. And some of that must have rubbed off on you two, because you both have turned out to be such wonderful young women, and both Karen and I admire you so much for what you two have turned into. You are fantastic. But maybe most of all, I'm so happy that you two have finally realized golf is not the worst thing in the world, and it's kind of fun at times, and now we can spend a little bit more time playing golf together. Thank you. Then there's my brother Ken, and he along with one other person might be one of the main reasons that I'm up here. At a young age, Ken always would say, golf, there are no shots in golf. Golf is played at scratch. No shots. He always would say that when we were younger. And he, at a young age, Ken was a very accomplished player at a young age. And I remember Ken at Crystal Lake playing in the same group as Sherm Finger. And I had played earlier because I was not very good at that time. Ken and Sherm were quite good. And Sherm beat Ken. You know, that was my first introduction to Sherm Finger. But anyway, Ken was a very accomplished player. And did I mention, I don't know if you've all met Ken, but he's the guy with the gray hair, much older than I am. But we'd go out to play, and I would ask, how many shots are you going to give me today? And he'd say, there are no shots in golf. I can't even remember how much allowance I lost to him. I lost money to him all the time. But certainly he was a great motivation to me to become a better player, because I couldn't get shots from him. So thanks, Ken. And no more shots. When you ask for shots, zero. No shots. And then to both my brothers and our mentor was the man that we had learned to play golf from, was Bill Erfurth. And I'm sure most everybody in here knows Bill. I learned the game from Bill from his junior golf clinics at Hillcrest Country Club. I've always admired Bill. He's always inspired me, and he still does. I think that Bill is now 82, or about to be 82, and he shoots his age all the time. And I think we all would love to be as physically fit at that age and be able to play the game of golf that Bill does at that age as well. He shoots his age all the time. But anyway, when I was graduated from college and about ready to turn pro, I talked to Bill and I asked him, I'm thinking about turning pro. And he says, are you sure you want to turn pro? And he said, once you turn pro, golf becomes your entire life. There won't be much time for anything else. And besides that, you can make a heck of a lot more money doing something else. Well, you know what? Bill was absolutely right. But I'm glad that I did turn pro, and because it has been a wonderful career, and I'm standing here right now, and I would not change anything. So thank you, Bill. As to my career, playing-wise, I guess I always wished that I would have won more tournaments. I think everybody says, gee, I wish I would have won. And when Saab wins, I said, geez, Saab wins again. You know, I wish I'd have won, but at least it was one of my best friends. When Harrigan wins, you know, at least it was one of my good friends, or Bauman, or Groh, or Holmes. You know, I guess I've actually had a pretty decent career, even though I'd wished I'd won a little bit more. I think everybody does. But I will never forget several things. I'll never forget my 4 years at Michigan State. I'm not sure where Doug is sitting, but go Sparties tomorrow against the Badgers. And Bill Sheehan and Bruce Patterson and any other Michigan alums out there. I think we've won 4 in a row. I still bleed green and white. I was fortunate enough to have 4 great years at Michigan State, and I was fortunate enough to be honored as an All-American there. Some of the best times I ever had happened to be representing the United States in the PGA Cup matches against Great Britain and Ireland. You've all seen, and you know that the Ryder Cup is coming here next year. Well, the club pros have the same thing. It's called the PGA Cup matches. And they were the most exciting things that I ever played in. I was fortunate enough to be on that PGA Cup team 3 times. And it was just unbelievable. And I'll never forget those times. But the best thing about my life in golf has probably been the people that I've been able to meet along the way. I've been so lucky to be able to promote such a wonderful game while developing such great friendships with both a lot of my members and many of my fellow professionals. When I turned pro, I never thought of receiving such a wonderful honor. I've always tried to work hard at my career and my golf game and tried to do the very best I could at both. Every victory was rewarding, but being inducted to the Illinois Golf Hall of Fame is far beyond any of my expectations and will be an honor and memory that I will treasure forever. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee and certainly have to thank the Chicago District Golf Association for getting the youngsters started in golf, me being one of them, Sherm being one of them, the Illinois section of the PGA, And I especially want to thank Wally Hines, Mark Labiak, Kevin Healy, and some of my very, very closest friends, along with every other assistant golf professional that I have worked with throughout the years. I definitely want to thank my very, very close friends that I've competed with over the last 40 years for what to me is the most important thing, their great camaraderie and great competition. We know that's really what the game of golf is all about. Thank you again, and I will treasure this forever.